everybody, welcome back to the Mid-Ohio Rock Show. I'm Tommy Barnes. Got a beautiful bonfire behind us here as fall is about ready to descend on the Mid-Ohio area.
Brought the marshmallows?
I did not bring the marshmallows. You mean those big, gigantic campfire marshmallows?
I found some of those the other day. They're like massive. They're like Pringles cans.
You put them in a microwave, they get as big as a coffee can. They just like,
yeah. Speaking of that, we did one of our TED shows where I got the little big campfire.
Yeah.
And we had marshmallows. And our roadie thought it was a good idea to throw marshmallows out in the crowd. Well, they started throwing them back, and there was bush marshmallows all over the stage.
We're hanging out with Scotty Bratcher and a band, Sean and Dan here, and we're at Ron and Chris's for the Turkey Bash. And if I could kind of tell a quick story about what Ronnie was just talking about, we were doing the Mid-Ohio Rock Show at the Bisman building a couple of years ago. And somebody lit a marshmallow and put it on
Does it feel like we're getting married or something?
It's just like foreplay.
Marshmallow anyway.
Hey, mine just won't light. What's up here? I hope that wasn't on fire.
Like, oh no! We got a chance to spend some time with Ron and Ron C and Ronnie and I and Scotty in the garage before these guys get ready to play, but we didn't want to not bring the band in and talk about these guys, introduce them, and how you guys hooked together and how things are going.
Well, Dan's the oldest. We'll let him start. Let's tell your story, Dan.
Go.
Right. I started back in the late 60s, early 70s, so. But yeah, I just played in a Motown cover band. We toured up to the East Coast for 2 years, and then got drafted, and Sam got me, and went over to Germany for a couple of years. Played the whole time I was in Germany, and come home and was married and had a kid, so it was time to go to work. And I didn't really play, with anybody for over 30 years. And just through a mutual friend, hooked up with Scotty at a jam thing one night, and he was looking for a bass player. And originally, I was just going to be a fill-in guy, and ended up being a full-time gig, and
You know, we were talking with Scotty a little bit ago about your gig, and I'm not sure when this is going to air offhand, but playing with Boston. I mean, I'm sure you play with a lot of great players in your life, but you think about the most recent gig you had, big gig like that, that's got to be pretty cool.
It's amazing. I mean, it's Scott up there that's hooked us up big time, and a lot of good shows up there, and it's just, anytime you can play in front of 5,000 plus people, that's what the whole thing's about.
Yeah, this was a Boston show that was down in Columbus that the Promo West folks put together at the LC Pavilion, and I know Ronnie, you were there for that show. I didn't get a chance to go, but
yeah, you couldn't go, so
I gave him my tickets actually. Yeah. But yeah, pretty neat stuff.
That was very awesome.
Who's the guys sitting next to you?
This is Sean, who I met, and I'll let you tell your story here in a second. I met Sean through a guy that played keyboard. He was a keyboard player for us for about 3 years, and we did a show at the LC. At the time, Sean was playing with a band that played right before us, and the keyboard player who's also named Dan. He goes, "Man, that's Sean," and they were. I'll let you get into all this, but that's how Sean and I met. And then years later, he was working on other projects, and a lot of things came up with our band, and we ended up we needed a drummer, so we gave Sean the call. He's got quite a bit of history now, all the things that he's done.
Is this history that we'll find at the post office on the wall?
He's been in some cool bands.
Tell us about some of the bands then.
Well, I started out playing like any young drummer in metal, and then I got into funk, but I've been in a lot of tribute bands over the years, a lot of cover bands. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Kelly Ritchie.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Kelly, Stevie Ray had a twin. It would be Kelly. And I've seen a lot of, including Scotty, the quickness, and even Ronnie, the quickness on the guitar. But that woman, her hands are flying, and it just seems like when she starts, she doesn't stop until she's done. Yeah. She's really, really good.
Yeah, she was interesting to play with for a few years, and I played on her first 2 albums. And then after that, I did the tribute stuff. And about the time, I guess, Dan had called me, the keyboardist at the time, and I guess they were having some problems with the drummer. And I was just getting ready to go out on the road with a band out of Columbus called Red One and Blue. So I did about 6 months with them. And then I met Scotty again a couple of years later, kept running into this guy. And I was playing in a cover band that did like Styx and Germany and stuff. And then I think it was like a few years after that, I just got the call, from Scotty, and the time was right. So I was ready to do it.
It's been really good. The whole thing about the band, and I'm sure you guys being around music, it's all about the positive attitude. I mean, you can't be in a band with guys that don't have the same. I mean, it's just that simple. You can part ways and stay friends, but you have to have a common goal to be in the same band. And it's been a great 6 to 8 months. I don't even know when it's been. It was January, so I guess it's been almost 8 months, almost 9 now. That Sean's been playing with us, and just the entire aura around the band has been so positive, and we've got common goals, and everything's going really well. And I forgot to tell you this, Dan and I were somewhere, and I don't think this was a dream. I don't know, it just happened like a couple days ago. But Dan and I were somewhere, and there was some music playing. And tell me if I'm crazy, Dan. I don't know. I might have an out-of-body experience. But the song started playing. Dan goes, "Oh, I like that." And it was one of the songs that you played on one of Kelly Richie's records. I go, "That's Sean playing drums." And did that happen? Because I've got it in my.
I'm in the days a lot of times.
No. See, this is what I'm talking about. Going back to everybody being on the same page, we have no clue where we are. Have we met you guys yet?
About 20 minutes ago.
No, we
will
just
meet
have
later,
a lot
I
of
think.
fun.
Yeah, we're going to meet somewhere down the road.
It's been a great year, and we've had so much fun traveling together and playing shows together. And it's just every show, I just feel like we get tighter and tighter and tighter. And I think that says a lot for the guys that are in the band, because we want to be there and we want to play. And we go to every show going, man, tonight's going to be better than the last, and it always is.
forward into the holidays coming up and the first of the year, what's on the scope for you?
We got a lot of things. Some things I haven't yet put too far out there for people to know exactly what's going on, but some big things. Some big things. Been going back and forth to Nashville, and we're working on a lot of but very good things. And you know, I'm about to start, you know, writing for another record. We've got a bunch of work tapes that we've done of just riffs and things like that, and you know, that's how it always starts. And then, you know, 6 months from now we'll have a record coming. I'm not saying we will, but I'm just saying, you know, that's how it works. Is we you know, we start, and before too long we realize, well, now it's time to record all this stuff. And, you know, we've got to do that.
So at that point, you really wait until that moment when you want to go into the recording studio. You're not really, so to speak, sitting there doing it along the way.
There's a level of creativity that happens in the studio. Everything changes in the studio. But you do have to get to a certain point in the songs when you decide that it's the right time to record. Otherwise, you're spending all kind of time and money on what may never even exist. But yeah, no, it's a lot of things in the works, and I'm really looking forward to the next year. It's gonna be just, you know, above and beyond what we've done so far.
Now you've got to have those goals and expectations. There's no reason to stay flatlined about anything. You know, try to make tomorrow better than today. You know, if you can do that, then you're on your way. I think we're going to be on our way to go get some food. You guys need to get tuned up. I think the stage is ready to go. So, hey, once again, Scotty Bratcher, Dan, Sean. I want to thank these guys for playing Ronnie Chris's Turkey Bash. Ronnie Hughes, I'm Tommy Barnes. Catch you guys next time on Rock Show.
too. Lord, I don't know why. Let I made a woman in a fool. Took all my money. Oh, and I knew now she's one of my good times. Drinking nasty crossing. Sometimes Thank you.